This is the FM Gold channel of All India Radio. In a program Spotlight, we now bring you a discussion on conservation of migratory species. The participants are Dr. Shrikanta K. Panigrahi, environmentalist, and Naz Asghar, journalist.
Animals and birds are a very important part of our ecosystem. Our existence as humans is very much related to their survival. And today, these species of birds and animals are facing extinction or threat to their survival all over the world. In some countries, the situation is very acute. And this subject becomes more important, especially in the context 13th Conference of Parties, which is taking place in Ahmedabad, and which was inaugurated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The importance of the subject can be gauged from the fact that the Prime Minister announced the creation of an institutional research facility on conservation of these wild animals. Dr. Panigrahi, tell us more about what are the challenges of the conservation of these species and what is their state of conservation in India and in the world.
The entire world is just like one home for all of us. And the plants, the animals, the birds, the human beings, the ocean creations, and everybody, even a small fly and a ant is also a part of the global ecosystem. Everybody need to coexist in harmony so that all of us can live and sustain well. That is the principle in which this planet has been created. But unfortunately, the way you told, we are facing big challenges right now. And this is the right time. India is very proud to host this 13th International Conference, which is also known as Conference of Parties to the Convention on the Conservation of Migratory Species of Wild Animals, CMS, which is also known as Bonn Convention. Bonn is a beautiful city in Germany, and this city is home to many United Nations organizations, and it also was a historic place where this particular CMS, Conservation of Migratory Species of Wild Animals initiative, has been initiated in 1979 by United Nations Environment Program. United Nations Environment Program is a global initiative of the United Nations itself, which is dedicated working in the field of environment, climate change, energy, water, natural resources conservation, and since its inception. India is right now hosting this great convention.
What is the focus of this conference? What is the agenda?
Agenda of this conference are many. And the most important thing is here during this 2 weeks time, largely we are expected to prepare a international action plan where all the animals, plants, birds need to survive, and particularly the migratory species of animals, migratory species of birds, mammals, and all of them, how they can survive. That is the main things, and for that we need to prepare a global action plan. And this action plan will be valid for 10 years, and 2020 to 2030. And this will be implemented by the 130 member countries, which will be a part of the discussion. And COP is the largest decision-making body of a convention, and that is why all this discussion will take place. There will be negotiations, there will be new and virgin ideas, and all will be chalked out, and a action plan, how that will be prepared, how the finance needs to be arranged, who will do what, and how it will be implemented in 10 years time period. That is the main agenda.
What are the causes? What has led to the extinction of so many of important bird species, animal species? What are the major causes? What part the climate change is playing?
There are many reasons for which the animals and bird species, mammals, all are facing extinction today. And this particularly CMS has an estimation, and that about 1 million species of plants and animals, and particularly animals and birds are facing extinction, and who are migratory in nature. Other than migratory, there are even much more, manifold. And among migratory animals and bird species, around 1 million of them are facing extinction, and reasons are many. One of the greatest important reasons which you have already pointed out is climate change. All of us, including our readers, are well aware that global temperature is increasing and leading towards global warming. Why this global temperature is increasing? It is increasing because of greenhouse gas emissions. There are 6 greenhouse gas emissions which are responsible for increasing the temperature of the planet. And because of this increase in temperature, a lot of adverse impact is happening to the climate of the planet. The sea currents are changing, the wind flows are changing, seasonal patterns are changing, rainfall pattern is changing, droughts are happening, flash flood and floods are happening, and a lot of natural calamities are happening in a rapid space. And there is a loss of biological diversity to a greater extent, which includes migratory species of animals, plants, and also the birds and mammals. All these are happening, and water quality and quantity is reducing. The malaria, dengue, and all sorts of vector-borne diseases are manifolding or increasing. So there are many consequences. Here now we are largely concerned about the loss of species. If you see the historic data, now the 1.1 degree increase in the global temperature has already occurred. Due to this increase in temperature, 1.1 degree, there is a huge loss to global biodiversity. Around 25 to 27% loss of very sensitive plant, animal, and bird species who cannot withstand higher temperature. And those are from tundra region, those are from polar region. Most of them are slowly many of them are already extincted, and many of are declared endangered in the path of extinction. It has been found out by the research by the scientists in IPCC that there is a lot of research has been organized, and it is found and established empirically that 35% of plants and animal species and human are largely impacted, and they face extinction when there is an increase of 1%. This is normal thumb rule, but now it has been found that around 25 to 27% of losses, because there are so many research studies has been done, and all of their findings are showing direction towards 25 to 27 degree loss of biodiversity.
Warming of different regions is having an adverse effect on birds. So earlier birds used to migrate from like Siberia to India. Will this seasonal migration reduce because those birds will find the temperature there more comfortable? Is this going to reduce the migration to India of those beautiful birds which come?
India is blessed with a lot of migratory birds, as you told, and we get them from different parts of the world, those who fly over India. And these birds, they start flying in a particular season, in a particular destination, and as per and they keep flying, and after their cycle is complete, they again come back to their original destination. So India has got many temporary shelter for many migrating birds, and we enjoy spending the beauties of nature and their company during their stay with us in India. We celebrate, there are many festivals, there are many occasions of our culture is linked to them. Like you may be knowing that Delhi, the biggest lakes in Delhi also witness such birds. Migratory birds you can find in all parts of the country, and it's a great pride for us. And scientifically, India has worked out their route, their nesting pattern during their flying, their habitat changes. They love to make new nest in a new destination, temporary nest, and again they fly to another destination and look for another nest. The requirements are sunlight, food, habitat, pleasant temperature. All these factors influence them flying. And from Siberia, we get a great chunk of birds. And again, from different northern and southern colder regions, from Arctics and in North Pole, we get them. And there are many flying zones of the migratory birds in our country. And India has found that there is such flying routes which is we call Central Asian Flyway, flyway, where about 279 type of flying birds fly, and particularly in Indian Ocean and especially in India, and out of which 182 are migratory water bird species, and unfortunately 29 of them are already endangered, and some of them are extincted, and these 29s are in very serious path of getting extinction.
Besides climate change, which is affecting every part of the earth, there are some problems which are specific to different countries. So what should India do? Because besides climate change, this loss of habitat because of developmental activities, because of pollution, this habitat of these birds are affected. What will be main thrust? What would be the strategy of this 10-year action plan, which India will be part of, which will be, you say, is going to be launched from 2022 to 30. The 10-year plan.
Yes, ma'am.
So what will be India's thrust in this action plan? Because development, our government is saying development and conservation and development and environment can go together. But yes, we know how much tall the development is taking place. So challenge will be to make this development green. So what will be the strategy for that? Not
only in India, throughout the world, we are facing this problem. And we are losing huge number of species because of developmental activities and all these regions you spelled out. And so we here, every country will first few days, they will bring out the concerns. What are the flying paths which is already existing? Due to change in climate or other regions, are the flying paths of the migratory birds and migratory animals are changing? If they are changing, what are the regions? And what we need to do? And all this will be discussed. And the challenges are different in different countries. Species are different. Species-wise, their problems are specific. So it is decided, it is to be dealt species-wise species. And this has been already in the process. I will give you few examples. Around 65,000 migratory birds, which are very beautiful, lost their life in Sambar Lake in Rajasthan. And this happened because of electrification. And this is the unfortunate and unknown things which happened. Like this, there are many challenges in many parts. And so all of them will be discussed, debated, the solutions and path will be found out, and what needs to be done will be chalked out, and the necessary allocation of resources also will be sourced and identified. And there is also emphasis on involvement of the communities in their conservation, yes. I think. Because without them, you cannot sustain the forest, you cannot maintain the grasslands. So I think their cooperation is also very important. Thank you so much, Dr. Panigrahi. Thank you.
You were listening to a discussion on conservation of migratory species. The participants were Dr. Srikanta K. Panigrahi, environmentalist, and Naz Asghar, journalist. This program was produced and presented by the News Services Division of All India Radio. This program is also available on our website newsonair.com. You can also follow us on the News on Air app for updates. You may email your opinion about this program at airnsdtalks@gmail.com.